All right, here we go. Pumped. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Blip Podcast, where we help agents build successful agencies. I'm your host, Josh Berg, and I'm so excited that you're joining me today. Seriously, I love it. And I'm digging these solo shows. I really am enjoying them. It's kind of fun for me, change it up a little bit, but I've got some awesome guests lined up in the near future here, probably about the next 8 or 9 episodes. And so I'm going to probably take a break from these solo shows after this episode for a bit. But this one I alluded to last week and the week before. I'm really excited about. It's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things to talk about, and we'll get into that. But to start it off, what if I told you that you could create the life you want? Like, seriously, you could create the life you want, and all it takes is goal setting. You could have the body you want, you could have the income you want, you can have the relationships you want. If you set goals, work backwards from those goals to daily tasks and make sure you're completing those daily tasks every day. Maybe there's an exception every once in a while, but for the most part, the rule is that you can get what you want to get. You can have the life that you want to live if you set some goals. So let me ask you something. Do you know what you want to have accomplished by the end of the day? What about by the end of the week? What about end of the year? Or how about 5 years? Well, welcome to episode 22. That's what we're going to talk about, goal setting. Again, I'm really excited about this. I'm big on goal setting. It's something I think is super important for everyone to do personally and professionally. So let's get started with the things that you need to be considering when you're setting goals. So the first one, when you're setting goals, you've got to start off by making sure that they are important to you, that they are truly your goals, that you want to accomplish these things, because if they're not, you're never going to finish them. So when you're thinking about these goals potentially that you want to set, one, you got to make sure that they're important to you. Well, how do you know that they're important to you? Well, you've got to start out, I would say, by figuring out your why. So Simon Sinek wrote a book that most people are familiar with, at least in the business realm, and that is called Find Your Why. And pretty much he goes over, once you figure out, he helps you figure out what's important to you, what are the things that you need to basically set your goals around, the why. So for instance, for someone, it might be, your family is your why. Your family is the reason why you struggle and why you slave away and why you work long hours, and maybe why you hold down a job that you don't necessarily like, or whatever it might be. You do these things because by doing them, you're serving your family, and your family is the thing that means the most to you. And so you're willing to make these sacrifices and give your family the life that they want, or support them in the way that you know that you want to support them. So anyway, it's a great, great book. I'll link to it in the show notes. If you are catching this anywhere else, you can find this video along with the audio on our website, and that's bluelioninsurancepartners.com. Just click on the podcast tab, and then you'll see all the podcasts we've done, along with links to the videos and the audio, and a brief summary of what we talk about. And there's always some notes in there called the show notes that you can kind of see the show outline. You can see links to things that we're talking about, like this book, Simon Sinek, Find Your Why. It'll be in there. So the first one is the goal has to be yours, has to be important to you. It can't be your spouse's goal. It can't be your boss's goal. It can't be anything else. You've got to figure out what you want and why you want that. Drill down on it. So the second piece, the second thing that I would suggest you do or follow when setting goals is that you want to make sure that they are SMART goals. You actually don't want to make sure they're SMART goals. It's not the goals that are smart, it's the objectives that are smart. I'll get into that in a second, but the SMART goals thing, this is not something that I created. It's not unique for me. SMART goals have been around for a while, and SMART is an acronym, stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time. So some time component. So you want to make sure that those things, those objectives are all included in the actual goal. So those objectives, they support the goal, but the SMART goals, it's not actually a SMART goal, it's a SMART objective. So give you an example. If I want to grow my insurance agency premium by 2 million in the next 12 months, 2 million of premium, that's pretty specific. It's measurable, right? That's a specific number that we can get to. It's attainable. That's definitely doable for my agency and our size and what we've been doing in the past. Definitely an attainable goal for us. It's relevant because premium growth is our major factor that we measure when it comes to our agency. So how we're trending, what are we tracking? Like that's the number one thing we keep our eye on, and we can drill down from that. So in that same realm of it being a SMART goal, if we just say 2 million in premium growth in the next 12 months, I would say you want to drill down even further on that, like go further on that specific piece. So if we say 2 million, okay, 2 million in premium, we write auto and home and business. Those are the three main things that we write. So I would say break it down even more and say 1.3 million in personal lines and 700,000 in commercial. And then you could even drill down on the personal lines to get down to the nitty gritty of how much in auto, home, umbrella, boat. And then on the commercial side, you could do, contractor auto, general liability, habitational, something along those lines. So you could keep drilling down to the point where you can really measure it and see what tasks you're going to need to do to get to those goals. But so SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, with some time component. So use those objectives to create your goals, to make them SMART goals. So that would be number 2. Number 3, this is something, again, it's a really important piece of this. Number 3 is that you write your goals down. So don't just talk about them. Don't, just think about them, live in your own world. Write them down. And here's another piece of this. Write them down every day. When you write your goals down every day, preferably in the morning when you have some time, it's going to be top of mind for you. It's going to be something that you've got to focus on throughout the day to get to where you want to be with whatever the goal is about. So write them down every day. And I would say all your goals, write all your goals down every day. Because hopefully when you write those goals down, you're also going to be looking at the tasks that you need to complete that day. We talked about this last episode to help you achieve those goals. Okay, moving on. So number 3, write them down every day. Moving on, number 4. So your SMART goals, again, just talk about this, your SMART goals should be broken down to the daily tasks that are going to get you to hit your goals. So when you think about, okay, so there's a saying, just came into my mind, super applicable. It's how do you eat an elephant? And if you think about eating an elephant, there's no way that you're going to be able to eat this elephant. It's way too big. You'll never get it done. I mean, you just can't, elephant's too big. But how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time, you'll eventually get through that elephant. And so doing the same thing with these goals. Break it down to daily tasks that are going to help you hit your goals. So all we're looking to do is make progress in a long process. So as long as you can make the progress, complete those daily tasks, you're winning and you'll get to your goal. Every journey begins with a step. It's another one. I'm going to put these, Anyway, so daily tasks, like just for example, using that same example that I just used about, hitting 2 million of premium growth over the next year for our agency. Okay. So if we're going to get down to the daily tasks, your daily tasks don't need to just be, okay. So if we break this down, if we broke it down to personal and commercial insurance, let's just look at the personal insurance premium growth side of 1.3 million. So 2 million total, broken down to commercial personal, talking about the personal, 1.3 million of personal insurance premium growth. So there's 260 work days in a year, not including the holidays. That means you divide the total premium by that many work days, that we need to write 5,000 of premium a day, or grow by 5,000 premium a day. Our average client is right around $2,300 a year in premium. So again, divide that 5,000 of premium by that number, we get to that we need to write 2.2 new clients a day. Okay, so great. We know that we got to write 2.2 new clients a day, but we still haven't gotten to the daily tasks. We just know the daily number. So breaking it down even further, we'll look at our close ratio by lead source. So one lead source of ours is loan officer referrals. So if we know our close ratio with loan officer referrals is 91%, we know if we can get 3 leads a day from loan officers, we can hit that number. So how many loan officer referral partners do we need to get to 3 leads a day from loan officers? How much time do I need to spend reaching out to loan officers, networking on the phone, visiting them in their office, reaching out to other referral partners that can connect us to acquire the amount of relationship it's going to take to get there? So if you see what I'm saying, you keep breaking it down to get to the actual tasks. So those numbers at the very end there, they might be spend 1 hour a day making phone calls to loan officers that are outside of our network. Maybe spend 30 minutes a day calling loan officers that are in our network just to continue building that relationship. Another 30 minutes a day reaching out to contacts that we have that might be able to connect us. Another 30 minutes a day connecting with new loan officers that are not part of our network on social media and trying to foster and build those relationships. Whatever it comes down to, you need to break those things down to the daily tasks so that you can then, slowly over time, hit your numbers, get to your goal. So break down your daily tasks. Number 4. Number 5 is you need to have accountability for your goals. If you're the only one living in them, and you're the only one keeping yourself accountable, really, really tough to stay motivated. So what I would suggest is most of us that own insurance agencies have referral partners that are of the same mindset to some degree. So they're trying to grow, trying to build their network, all that kind of stuff. And those people who are like-minded are perfect people to hold you accountable. So I would definitely suggest getting together with 1 or 2 or a group of people that you can all hold each other accountable, kind of like a networking group. That'd be perfect. If you're already part of BNI or LaTip or something along those lines, that's a great place to gather those from. If you're not in a networking group per se, I would suggest reaching out to the person or a few people who you really respect, who are like-minded, who are probably already referring you business. So there's already that relationship built, and see if they'd be up for getting together once a week or even virtually, video, chat, whatever it is, to have them hold you accountable. And you can offer the same thing in reverse if they need that. But if not, they can act as a coach or a mentor, or at least, a um, peer that can help you stay on task, stay focused on the things you want to achieve. It's so easy to miss a day, to just let it go. Things aren't going the right way in your life, and you want to just kind of give up for that day, give yourself an excuse to not accomplish what you wanted to accomplish that day. And I'm telling you, you let a sliver of that in, it will grow. It'll fester, it'll grow. You'll have more missed days. Eventually, it probably will end up leading to you not hitting your goals because you just do these things every once in a while, but you're not still committed to them. So, what we've been talking about up to this point has really kind of been more geared towards professional, job related goals. But all this stuff is just as applicable in your personal life for fitness and health, which carries over to your professional life, relationally, with your spouse or your kids or your significant other, goals that you have personally to travel, or whatever it is. All this stuff is applicable to those same things. But you can't really reach a goal unless it's specific, it's measurable, and there's a time component to it. So let's just recap on the 5 goals. So you want to make sure, number 1, that they are important to you, that they are your goals. And you need the important piece. That's a big one. So recommend the book, Find Your Why. If you haven't read it yet, link in the show notes, pick it up on Amazon, pick it up wherever. But I would recommend getting that book, reading through it, and making sure the goals you set are your goals and that they're important to you and you understand why you're trying to hit those goals. You should make your goals SMART goals. At least the objectives of the goal should be SMART. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and there should be some sort of time component to it. Number 3, write your goals down every day. Every day, don't miss it. I would say first thing in the morning, write those goals down so you know what's important to you the rest of the day, so you don't get sidetracked or sucked into something that is not specifically geared towards you hitting your goals. 4, break down those goals to daily tasks. Again, progress in a long process, right? You're just trying to make progress. You're just trying to complete those daily tasks that, when multiplied out, are going to get you to that goal you want to be at. Number 5, get some accountability. So find a group, find a partner, find somebody, your spouse, whoever, a friend, somebody to keep you accountable. And I would suggest whoever is holding you accountable, that you could also do the same in reverse, if they're up for that. Guys, I know this was a shorter one, but that's the format. That's the formula I use when setting goals and sticking to them. So it's worked for me. It will work for you, and you literally will achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. You just have to be specific about it and follow those 5 criteria, and you'll get there. So if you are money at goal setting and you disagree with anything I've said, leave a comment. Let me know. If you agree with it, if this is helpful for you, let me know that too. Reach out to me. I'd love to hear some feedback on this. But thank you again so much for joining me. I really, really hope that you've gotten something out of this. If you have questions, reach out. So I've got some really great guests lined up. This next segment or section that we're going to be doing is on, we'll call it marketing, but it's like how to bring business into your agency. So we've got some cool things coming up. It's going to be great. I've also got another one. Oh man, I don't want to spoil it, but we are going to be following the journey of a brand new agent to the independent insurance industry, moving over from a captive world. We're following their journey from even before they make that switch and then from day one on for the first year. Hopefully it'll be really cool for those of you who are considering starting an independent agency or going that route. Hopefully it'll give you some great insight. But anyway, I'm super excited for that one. That was really cool. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate your time. Until next week, we will see you then.